morning. Welcome to Worship with Eliot Unitarian Chapel. I am the Reverend Barbara Gaydon, and I'm honored to serve as your minister. Our opening words for our service are from the Reverend Amy Shaw in Des Moines, Iowa. We've come together to experience the holiness of laughter and maybe to barbecue a few sacred cows. All religion is based on attempts to describe intangible concepts using concrete words. And like any metaphor, when examined too closely, it breaks down, and there is the potential for humor. Now, I'd add more meaningful words to this section, but this is the part of the service that only about half of you ever hear. The other half are normally still out in the parking lot, trying to get here in time to sneak in while everyone is standing up to start singing. For those of you who made it to your seats in front of your computers or phones, welcome. It must be heck not to have a drive or parking or traffic to blame. And to those of you who maybe have a family member lurking in the hall trying to put their pants on while you're watching, I know who you are. And you might as well come in and know that you are absolutely welcome too. Community is not just for times of sadness or need. Community is also where you go to laugh until you cry, to tell a joke, or to share a funny story which warms us all together with joy. Laughter is a way to heal what hurts, to recognize that our mistakes are not that serious, and to see the beauty and the sacredness of even the most ridiculous events. Embrace the absurd, find healing in a hurt world through laughter. Come and let us be in community here together, and remember that laughter is a holy sound. Now, if you have a chalice or a candle that you'd like to light along with me, I invite you to do so. We light this chalice, and we rejoice that we, of all the major religions, set fire to our holy symbol on a weekly basis. And now Jan Chamberlain is going to lead us in our opening hymn. Oh God, what was it? We Give Thanks. Hit it, Jan.
Hello everyone, now is the time for all ages, and today's story is titled Beyond Every Door, and it's written by Molly Hoosh Gordon and narrated by me, Heather Flick, an Eliot staff member. Who here knows the book The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Can you tell me how Lucy Pevensey discovers Narnia? Lucy looks for the perfect place to hide and opens up the door to a big wardrobe. She goes through the door and into the back of the wardrobe, and suddenly she's in a whole other world, a magical world with witches and fauns and talking beavers. Wouldn't it be cool if there were a magical world beyond every door? When Lucy opened the door to Narnia, It didn't look like anything special. It was just a boring door to a wardrobe full of clothes and coats. But across its threshold was magic. Lucy already had a foot in Narnia before she quite realized what was happening. Many of the thresholds in our lives are like this. We don't know that we're crossing into another world until we're already halfway there. The door of a church takes us down a pathway of growth we might never have expected. The door of the doctor's office suddenly opens out into life with a hard diagnosis. A restaurant door opens onto a first date and echoes forward into the relationship of a lifetime. A beloved person's door closes behind you and sends you out into the world heartbroken. The door to a library or a gym or a dance studio introduces you to a life's passion you might not have otherwise discovered. We cross these thresholds every day of our lives, for good and for ill, in joy and sorrow, in bittersweet truth. Truly, even our own front door is a great threshold, no matter how familiar the worlds within and without may be. Given our lives' reality of constant change, every day we open the same old door again, only to step out into a world that is new since the day before. In this way, there is a new world behind every door, awaiting our discovery, if we will only encounter it as such. That is the end of our story. Thank you so much for listening to The Time for All Ages. I really enjoyed reading this story because it coincided with the theme of crossing a new threshold and entering new life in this virtual ministry. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the service.
Now, it's pretty hard to do a funny prayer, so we're just going to do this one a little more straight up. I invite you now into a time of prayer and meditation. If you wish to, you may plant your feet flat on the floor, straighten your spine, close your eyes, and follow your breath, and hear these words by the philosopher Eusebius. May I be no one's enemy, and may I be the friend of that which is eternal and abides. May I wish for every person's happiness and envy none. May I never rejoice in the ill fortune of one who has wronged me. May I, to the extent of my power, give needful help to all who are in want. May I never fail a friend. May I respect myself. May I always keep tame that which rages within me. May I accustom myself to be gentle, and may I accustom myself to be quick to let go of anger. May I come to know good people and follow in their footsteps. Let us now dwell together for a moment of silent prayer and meditation. I invite you to share the name of anyone you wish to hold up for the love and prayers of this beloved community. We could not hear these names, but we feel them nonetheless. We hold them in our hearts. Amen.
Hello, we're the Witch Owls, and we are excited to be doing music for today's service. We are so thankful for Jan for such a warm welcome, and we're very sorry she can't be here with us today.
She's locked in the trunk of our car.
Hey, you guys, don't leave me here. Is anybody out there? Hey, you guys, is anybody? Hello?
We've been church shopping, and we've heard that Eliot is a really warm and welcoming place. Music is our thing, and unlike a lot of other churches, Eliot doesn't require things like you have to join to play music at the service, or you have to be a member for a year.
Have talent. Easy.
We know Eliot's reputation for having great music by great musicians. But we're hoping during these times you'll be a little more flexible on that. And here we are, with a lot of practice.
And a rock through the window.
Our first song is a prelude from the Appalachian part of the Appalachians.
I will be playing this instrument, which was handcrafted by Buddhist monks thousands of years ago and handed down through the generations.
Or, I think we bought it at a yard sale in Fenton for 85 cents.
Now, pardon us for a second. This song has very complicated harmonies. Let me warm up with the misses for a second. No, it's a minor third, not a major third. That's it. A 1, a 2, a 1, 5, 7, 9.
So this reading is called The Ham of God by Anne Lamott from her book, Grace Eventually. It was written in the early 2000s, but definitely speaks to these times. Last week on my birthday, I decided it was all hopeless. These are desert days. Everyone I know is devastated and overwhelmed. I can usually manage a crabby hope that there's meaning in mess and pain, that more will be revealed and that truth and beauty will somehow win out in the end. But I'd been struggling. So much had been stolen from us. While I was thinking about this, my priest friend Tom called to wish me happy birthday. How are you going to get through this craziness? I asked. There was silence for a moment. Left foot, right foot, left foot, breathe, he said. Right foot, left foot, right foot, breathe. Tom loved the desert. A number of my friends do. They love the sky that pulls you into infinity like the ocean. They love the silence of how, if you listen long enough, the pulse of the desert begins to sound like the noise your finger makes when you run it around the rim of a crystal glass. They love the scary beauty, snakes, lizards, scorpions, the kestrels and hawks. I like the desert for short periods of time. If I'm inside a car with the windows rolled up and the doors locked, I prefer beach resorts with room service. But we are going to be in the desert for a while. So the morning of my birthday, because I couldn't pray, I did what Matisse said once. I don't know if I believe in God or not, but the essential thing is to put oneself in a frame of mind which is close to that of prayer. I closed my eyes and got quiet. But within seconds, I was frantic to get on my phone. I was craving, it was like a craving for nicotine. I was in withdrawal, I needed more. Don't judge. I lay down on the floor with my eyes closed so long that the dog came over. Oh, how appropriate. Ugh. Patty just joined me. That the dog came over and worriedly licked me back to life. That cheered me up. But what did you get me for my birthday, I asked. She started to chew on my head. It helped. I called Tom back. I want to know what to do, I said. Where we even start? We start by being kind to ourselves. We breathe, we eat. We remember that God is present wherever people suffer. God's here with us when we're miserable. Then we help people who are suffering. After we got off the phone, I ate a few birthday chocolates. Then I asked God to help me be helpful. It was the first time that day that I felt my prayers were sent and then received, like email. I tried to cooperate with grace, which is to say, I did not pull out my phone. Instead, I drove to the market in silence to buy my birthday dinner. I asked God to help me again. The problem with God, or at any rate, one of the top 5 most annoying things about God, is that he or she rarely answers right away. It can be days, weeks. Some people seem to understand this, that life and changes take time. But I am not one of those people. I'm more of a texting type. But I prayed, help me. I flirted with everyone in the store, especially the old people, and I lightened up. When the checker finished ringing up my items, she looked at my receipt and cried, "Hey, you've won a ham." I felt blindsided by the news. I had asked for help, not a ham. It was very disturbing. What on earth was I going to do with 10 pounds of salty pink eraser? I rarely eat it. It makes you bloat. Wow, I said. The checker was so excited about giving it to me that I pretended I was too. Wow, that is great. A bagger was dispatched to the back of the store to get my ham. I stood waiting anxiously. I wanted to get home so I could start caring for suffering people or turn on CNN. I almost suggested that the checker award it to the next family who paid with food stamps. But for some reason, I waited. If God was giving me a ham, I'd be crazy not to receive it. Maybe it was the ham of God who takes away the sins of the world. I waited 10 minutes for what I began to think of as that bleeping ham. Finally, the bag boy handed me a parcel the size of a cat. I put it with feigned cheer into my grocery cart and walked to the car, trying to figure out who might need it. I thought about just chucking it out the window near a field. I was so distracted that I crashed my cart smack into a slow-moving car in the parking lot. I started to apologize when I noticed that the car was a rusty wreck and that an old friend was at the wheel. We got sober together a long time ago and each had a son at the same time. She opened her window. "Hey," I said, "how are you? It's my birthday." "Happy birthday," she said, and started crying. She looked drained and pinched, and after a moment, she pointed to the gas gauge of her car. "I don't have any money for gas or food. I've never asked for help from a friend since I got sober, but I'm asking you to help me." I've got money you can have," I said. No, I just need gas," she said. "I've never asked someone for a handout." It's not a handout," I told her. "It's my birthday present." I thrust a bunch of money into her hand, all the money I had. Then I reached into my shopping cart and held out the ham. "Hey," I said, "do you and your kids like ham?" "We love it," she said. "We eat it for every meal." She put it in the seat beside her, firmly, lovingly, as if she was about to strap it in, and she cried some more. Later, thinking about her, I remembered the seasonal showers in the desert, how potholes in the rocks filled up with rain. When you look sometimes later, there are already frogs in the water and brine shrimp reproducing, like little commas doing the Macarena. And it seems, but only seems, like you went from parched to overflow, all in the blink of an eye.
Every month at Eliot Chapel, we split our offering with a local organization that promotes our Unitarian Universalist values. In May, Eliot Chapel is supporting Project Backpack. Project Backpack has been serving at-risk children in St. Louis since 1999. They provide social workers and police with backpacks filled with necessities and comfort items for children. The backpacks are delivered to the children at the scene when they're most needed, and they make a huge difference for children who are removed from their homes, usually with nothing but the clothes on their backs, and in very difficult situations. There are instructions for giving on your screen, and please give generously. Your gift can help a child laugh.
And now, for the part where we collect money for the band.
It's not for the band, Dad.
We're going to do a round. All right, so first, I'm gonna cue in the left side, and then the center side, and then thirdly, the right side, until we're all totally lost.
There isn't anyone here. Oh my god.
All right, left side of the screen, mystery.
Middle side.
Life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery.
Right side.
Life is a riddle and a mystery. Life is a mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery.
Mystery.
When I told people that we were going to do a humor service this week, a lot of you said, "Oh, good, we need that." We instinctively know that laughter is good for us, physically good for us. It releases endorphins, it relieves stress, and emotionally it opens us up and it connects us with one another. Viktor Frankl once said, "Humor, more than anything else in the human makeup, gives us the ability to rise above and stand apart from any situation, if only for a few seconds." Now, if Viktor Frankl can say that, I think anybody can. It is a mistake to think that humor comes from the easy times and the lighter or sillier times of life. Just the opposite. So much humor comes from struggle. I think about the laughter that I've heard in 12-step meetings when people are working through addiction. Often in preparing for a memorial service, families will tell stories about their loved ones and they'll end up just laughing helplessly. Loss and laughter are not separate things. It's part of the healing. There was a woman in my first church in Easton, Maryland, who died. Her name was Charlene. Charlene was pretty sharp-tongued, and I was kind of afraid of Charlene, to tell you the truth. And she died. At her graveside service, her family had instructions printed in the programs, that said, "Please come forward and share a memory or a story about Charlene. You know that she certainly would have something to say about you." So you see all kinds of jokes about difficult situations, and you see them now in this age of COVID-19, which is the most serious, deadly, overwhelming thing that has happened, well, certainly in my lifetime and in the lifetime of most people. Unless, of course, you happen to be Rudy Heider, who turned 107 this week. Rudy is a longtime member of Eliot Chapel. And Rudy has lived through World War I, World War II. Rudy had the Spanish flu of 1918, and he had the coronavirus of 2019 and 2020, and he got through it. Happy birthday, Rudy. You are awesome. But, okay, everybody except Rudy, this is an unprecedented thing, and it's happening all over the world at once. And so what are we doing in response? Well, one response that we have is to tell jokes about it. They're everywhere on the internet, and I am convinced now that they are part of our survival in this time. Some of them are about what people are wearing during quarantine when they're attending formal meetings like on Zoom. Here's one. Day 1 versus day 14. And some jokes are about things like, how people tend to be wearing pajamas more, like all day long. Get it? The new Easter dresses are here. Now, there's a lot about bad hair in the quarantine. You'll see a lot of jokes about bad hair. And you may have noticed that today I am sporting a head wrap. I have elected not to share my quarantine hair on the internet, but trust me, it's pretty funny. We're also hearing about how difficult it is to be the parent of a young child right now, or multiple children. And one meme said, family quarantine day number 4. The kids and I are constantly playing hide and seek now. They don't know it, but we are. Somebody once said that humor is a sense of the absurd, which is despair refusing to take itself seriously. Let me say that again. Humor is a sense of the absurd, which is despair refusing to take itself seriously. Perfect for where we are right now. There is something powerful about being able to joke about things. Humor is one way to assert your own human dignity in a difficult situation. I was traveling in Israel and Palestine a number of years ago. We started out the portion of our trip that was on the West Bank feeling pretty nervous, most of us. The harsh reality of the wall, the poverty that we saw, the tremendously knotted up, difficult politics, threats of violence. And one day when we were walking in the village of Hebron, we were walking through the market, and there were settlers actually throwing garbage down on us, the people doing the shopping. Thankfully, there were some nets that they had put up there, but we saw all of that. It was a lot to take in. I can't imagine what it must be like to live it. And at the end of the trip, our hosts did a surprising thing. They threw us a feast. In addition to the incredible food, they insisted that everybody tell a joke. Now, I have to say, I didn't really understand some of the jokes, and I don't really remember any of them except this one. Here goes. The problem with bathrooms in Palestine is that they're always occupied. Now, that's kind of a dad joke, I will grant you, but I got it. And just getting that joke in that place with those people made it hilarious. Our host told me that they always ended their tours with Americans in that way. We don't want you to think of us only as a people with problems. And I would say, my fellow Americans, we can claim the same thing for ourselves. We are not just a people with problems. Did you hear about the Muslim woman on Twitter responding to a racist comment? Something about Muslims being a bigger threat in America than the virus. And she said, these days, everybody is praying and washing our hands 5 times a day and covering our faces. We're all Muslim now. Salam, brother. One of the most powerful things about humor, I think, is that it can get to the truth quickly. And in so doing, refuse to give credit to lies or put a good face on cruelty or ignorance. Just take a recent example. The whole idea of drinking or injecting disinfectant as a cure for the coronavirus. Our president wondered out loud about this. Now, reporters scrambled for a way to present this information, and his staff jumped in to say it wasn't what he meant, and disinfectant companies issued statements like, "Don't ingest our product." The rest of us just jumped in and made bleach jokes. I scanned the internet to see if I could find you a good example. And I have to say, they're pretty tacky and dumb, and some were a little bit gross, but I would prefer a tacky joke that told the truth directly, that didn't have to do that dance. I'd say if you can tell the truth and laugh, that is freedom, even just for a few minutes. Aristotle said that the secret to humor is surprise. The secret to humor is surprise. Now, you might think that the train of thought is going in one direction and then it goes in another. This is a quote by one of the popes. This is Pope John the 23rd. He was in power in the late 1950s and early 60s. And a reporter asked the Pope quite seriously, he said, "How many people are working in the Vatican?" And the Pope thought for a minute and he said, "About half of them." Reversal. So you might think that a situation is going in one direction. And in your life, the direction might be an awful one. And then it can change. We've had our fill of bad surprises this year. I have to say that. But I still think there are plenty of good surprises left. A few years ago, my nephew's family lost their dog, Cody. And they were pretty sad, especially their two youngest daughters. So this week, my nephew and his wife decided to get a puppy. Now watch, I want you to watch this. It's his wife speaking.
How did he get in the yard? Wait, hold on. Make sure you let him smell you first so he doesn't... Oh. Does he have a tag on or anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna move your phone.
Has he got a collar?
Yeah, I'm trying
He's... How did he get in our yard? He sneaked through the garage or something? Where did he come from?
Tucker.
Does it say anything on the back, like where he lives?
There's a phone number. Oh, 952 Chris Avenue. That's what it says.
What?
He lives on 952 Chris Avenue. Oh my god! Did you know that? Oh my god! Did you give it to us? Can I sleep with the night?
No.
Now there's a lot of joy, and there's a great surprise. So a new puppy or a great joke are not really going to solve our problems, but it might give us a little bit of room to breathe and come back together and solve them again. And I also think if we can have the capacity to be surprised, we can be a little less sure that we know what's going to happen and that it will all be bad. We might relax and become more resilient. Remember, we have one job right now, and that one job is this: to survive and to help other people survive. Our job is to survive and help other people survive. Laughter, I honestly believe, is going to help us do that. Amen. And I'll see you in the funny papers. Hey.
Hi.
Hi, Noah. How are you doing?
Oh, okay. How are you?
Pretty good. Okay, here comes Scott. Oh, goody. Here comes Emma.
Yay. A lot of people.
Hey, Noelle.
Hey.
Hey, Scott.
Hey,
Hi,
Emma.
Scott.
Hey, Emma.
Hi, guys.
Okay, so ready to play Mad Libs. We need the name of an animal.
Cheetah.
Cat.
Okay.
Dog.
I like that. A verb.
Run.
What is it?
A
A
verb.
verb.
What to do?
Waddle.
Pet.
What did you say, Noelle?
Pet?
Pet?
Yep, like petted an animal.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, I think I'm going to do waddle. Emotion. What's an emotion you could do?
Energetic. No, that's...
Is blissful an emotion, or is that like an adjective?
Like just a feeling, just happy, sad.
Giddy.
Giddy.
Frustrated.
Okay. Okay. I think giddy. Type of dance.
Polka.
Polka. Okay.
Dance.
What type of dance?
Like Fortnite dances? I don't know. No one's gonna know what that is.
We'll go with polka. Another verb.
Kick.
Jumping.
Swimming.
Okay.
Wow.
Swearing. That's good for the church video. We don't have actual swearing, so that's good.
There's never any of that in youth group, Barbara.
Yeah. Nope.
Emma doesn't know any of those
Yeah.
words.
Never heard any of those in the 4 years
No.
I've been here.
We'll help you out there. Okay, a place.
Youth group.
Taco Hut.
St. Louis.
St. Louis. What else did I hear?
Oh, I said Taco Hut.
Youth group.
Okay. A body part.
Our toes.
And.
Ooh.
And okay, we'll go with toes. Clothing item.
Sweatshirt.
Sock.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna go with sweatshirt. Celebrity. What?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Yadier Molina.
There you go.
Let's see. What was the one you said, Noelle?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Okay. Okay. One of the Muppets, a Muppet character.
Beaker.
Piggy.
Hermit.
Animal.
Animal. Okay. I think we're gonna go with Kermit.
Animal's one of my favorites.
Animal is awesome.
He's crazy.
And a favorite junk food.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Fruit snacks.
So what did you say, Emma?
Fruit snacks.
Fruit snack. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Emma, I have a question about that.
Yes.
Do you like sour fruit snacks or regular fruit snacks?
I like the regular ones.
Okay.
But yeah, my fruit snack addiction literally started in youth group.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got it. So I'll tell you what it is. Let's see.
My cheetah flows on in endless song above Earth's taco hut. I hear the real, the far-off polka that hails a new Kobe Bryant. Through all the fruit snacks and the toes, I swear the music's ringing. It sounds like Kermit on my sweatshirt. How can I keep from waddling?
Okay, I like that.
Oh, God.
That goes. Anyway, thanks. That's really the whole thing. That's all I needed.
Ah, why are you barking?
So that's it for playing. We'll see
Okay.
what happens.
Oh,
Okay.
there's Ollie.
Oh, we need Ollie in the shot. Okay. Oh, Ollie.
Bark unto me.
Yeah, this is Ollie.
Ah,
He's a little mad right now. I don't know why.
that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
And now may love, which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us now and always. Go in peace. I love you.
For the postlude, we're going to do a brand new hymn from the brand new hymnal.
This hymn is so new that it's not in the Teal book.
It's from the brand new Burnt Sienna book.
Yeah. Now, don't play sax on this song. And actually, you tap then.
Oh, sure.
Because that's part of every Unitarian tradition. Tapping on the altar. 5, 6, 3, 1.
7, 8.
We miss you all. We hope you're safe. One more.